Okay. Can I do that? Let me see. Let me do that. Okay. Oh my gosh. Hello. I'm so happy to be here. Okay. Let's get it together here. Gee whiz. Gee whiz. Let's get it together. Okay, that's not. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Hello, darlings. Hello, hello. Hello, darlings. Hello. Oh, happy Monday. I worked in the yard this morning. We worked in the garden to work on some things. I am exhausted, and we're technically, finally, out of this full moon energy that has just been so, heavy. This full moon energy over the last few days was just, it's just been heavy. So I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy that we're now in the waning and not in the full anymore. This has been a major full moon shift because we're still in Mercury retrograde. We have major planets that are shifting around. We've got all kinds of just life shifts. There's a lot of things right now that are like, stop, pump your brakes, get in a place of reflection and a place of zooming out to see things from a different perspective. So I saw something where I had someone in my circle had gotten a job, it just wasn't the right fit, left the job, and immediately saw like the next day a posting for a job that was like, you have a job that's a fit and then you have a job that's a fit. But had they stayed at the job that wasn't a fit, they would never have seen the listing because they wouldn't have been looking for it. And it's that kind of stuff that really has been on my mind, because there's all these things where we're getting right now, we're getting this kind of myopathy where we're like, and forgive me, we're just like, hello, I have to micro manage and observe and all like these things. Like we're trying to pick things apart. And the universe is saying, no. Listen, you got to trust us. You've got to let us shuffle the stuff. So I have had clients before where, oh, I'm so sorry, your past week was sucky in a lot of ways. So here's where I'm trying to go. So think about this. You can totally list all the ways that it sucked. And I get that. Because that's easy, right? We can totally get in there and be like, ugh, this sucked for, 5 different ways, We can list that, no problem. My challenge to you is to look at where there were blessings or where there were opportunities that came to you because the thing sucked. Okay? So this job that wasn't a good fit was so disheartening and so like where you like walk through a curtain and you see the picture on the curtain and you know exactly what this picture is, and so you expect when you go behind that curtain you know exactly what you're going to see, right? Like think Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, right? They see the big giant lion head, I am the Wizard of Oz, right? And then you go behind the curtain and you see the little guy, right? Not Jeff Goldblum. I'm thinking like the original Judy Garland movie with the little old guy, right? Sweet little old guy, could have been a grandpa. And he's like, I'm the wizard, right? And it totally like, boom, like perspective shift because you were so blindsided by seeing what you didn't expect to see and the incongruity of it. And so when we look at that, if we choose to look at these things, we can zoom out and see this bigger picture. And so for Dorothy, let's say, she realized there was nothing there to fear because she was being afraid of the thing that looked a certain way And when we get these things that are very unexpected, in the last week, I have learned of 3 passings that were untimely, mostly unexpected, heartbreaking. And when we get these things that are so unexpected, it's so jarring. And it takes us a minute to like get our footing back. Like, wait a minute, if this is how that is, if this is what could happen, how can I lean into this as a truth I can depend on? Because things now feel so unbalanced and untethered. And so I have had a client recently. We did card readings, and I had a lovely woman who had brought me to her friend's birthday party, and I was the entertainment for the birthday party, and I was there to do readings for all the people that were there. And it was a lovely experience. We had a marvelous time. And one of the women, I fan out the cards on the table, and I say, pick however many she's supposed to pick. And I said, pick however. And she started to do this. And she took my lovely little swoop, how they make it in Vegas, of the cards. And most people just kind of go through and they pick their whatever. And she starts mixing them, and I don't care. What is she going to do? Hurt them? And so she's mixing and mixing and mixing and mixing. And her reading was so fantastic. It was so her. It was exactly what she needed, which I know the cards are always that way. But she was so ready to receive the information because she had allowed the mess to come in, and she had embraced the mess, knowing that she had responsibility in creating the mess. And she was so sweet because when she was done, she put them all, back together. So she had responsibility in restoring the mess, but she took control of that situation to make it work in a way that she wanted to. So she took that, and we all own that. We all have culpability in creating. To an extent, we all are participants and have called in these things that we have created in our lives. Whether it's you receive it as positive or negative is up to you. And I know some things are very definitively one or the other. However, like my husband had a heart attack 2 years ago. Just this past week, we marked the 2-year anniversary. That was the worst fucking day of my life. And I imagine the worst day of my children's lives as we all stood in the emergency room watching my husband have a heart attack and feeling completely helpless and saying to doctors and nurses, hello, come on, we've got to do something. But today we spent 3 hours working in the yard together. We worked on our garden, we worked on our landscaping, and while it wasn't so easy, we were joyous because every day he says, I feel so good, I feel so strong, I feel like I can go out in the heat of Florida, and I did this, and I did this, and so there is blessing from that mess. That, did he cause it? No, not really. Could he have taken better care of his health, in the lead up, knowing there's heart issues in his family? Yeah, probably. Did we know that his job at that time was just really hard on his health? Yes. Could we have been more proactive about it? Probably. Like, hey, I have this really stressful job. What do you suggest? But, the assumption is they would say either get another job or here's some medication, which we didn't really want. So we have culpability in bringing that mess, creating that mess coming to us. We have to own that for ourselves, and then to say we are going to be responsible for the cleaning up. So he's got a different job now. Yay. And it is a much more healthy job, and he is happier, and he has time for exercise and time for eating right and time for drinking enough water. And so he has owned the cleanup, just as this woman with the cards. She created that mess, knew she created the mess, picked out the pieces of the chaos that she needed for her growth, and then cleaned up the mess. Okay? Picked out the pieces of the chaos that she needed for her own growth and cleaned up the mess. Put the cards back into the thing, handed it back to me, and she said, okay, these are my cards. Okay? So and please understand a couple of things. One, I'm not getting on anybody for anything. That's not my place. Y'all have your lives, and I love that you choose to come spend some time. It is an honor to me, and I love spending time with you. These are not my lives. I do not get a vote. Okay, as we say in my family, if you don't pay my bills, you don't get no vote. Okay, so it is all about love and support. The other thing I want you to understand, and I know I say this from time to time, is I don't plan what I'm going to say to you on a Monday unless there's like a reading I want to share. Okay? I've been busy today. I'm sure Kyle Gray sent his Monday email. I'm sure it's awesome. I have not read it yet. So I trust they're going to give us the things we're supposed to talk about. And sometimes while I'm sharing these things with you, I say, gosh, I didn't realize I was going to talk about that today in my head. But there is this piece because of this heavy, heavy full moon, that there is this piece that was about we have created some of we have culpability in creating our stuff, however you want to interpret that word. Good stuff, bad stuff, and I love that that saying, this too shall pass, right? Because the good stuff, this too shall pass. So enjoy it while you have it. And the bad stuff, this too shall pass. We will not be stuck in that mud forever, okay? And so we have a responsibility to our own selves, to our co-creation with the universe, to acknowledge that we have the ability to make things and create things for positive or negative, for growth or for smoothness, whatever, lumpy or smooth, that's up to you. How do you like your mashed potatoes? It's up to you. We have an obligation is not the right word. We have responsibility. We have ownership there. And the more that we can say that we have that ownership, then my dog is like right here and he's snoring like a chainsaw. The more we can take that ownership, the more we can zoom out. And so this full moon, and don't forget also, this was also the Lionsgate portal. Okay, the Lionsgate on 8/8, which is where the moon gets into, or sun gets into Leo. It's a time, again, for zooming out and saying, okay, who do I want to be? How do I want to show up in the world? What's really going on? This is a time of really figuring out how we want to go forward. But before we can go forward, we got to zoom out, right? So this time of zooming out, this full moon was really about this zooming out period. And to say, and we talked about this last week, to say, let me really look at what's going on around me, because most people don't. Most people don't. When I talk to people about manifestation, and I do that a lot, if you've seen the Unspooling Your DNA online class, it is all about how do you manifest things in your lives. And I say to people, well, what is it you want to manifest? And they go, I don't know. I just want to be happy. I'm like, okay, that's great, but what does that look like? How do you quantify that so you know what to work towards, what to co-create, what to ask the universe for? Because if you don't know what you want, how can you order it off the menu? Okay? If you don't know where you're going, how do you plug it into the GPS? We have to know. But the way that we know is by zooming out and taking a look at the situation that says, okay, this is where I am right now. Where are the positives? Where are the negatives? What can I learn from this? And how do I go forward? 4 important questions. What are the positives? What are the negatives? What can I learn from this, and how do I go forward? Really important 4 questions. So important, I'm going to write them down because I'm going to make a blog post about that. Okay, so these are the things that this piece that we're just now coming out of, and I say this to you because it's not too late, okay? It is never too late, okay? People say, oh my God, I didn't do it right on the full moon. It's okay. It is never too late. Energy does not turn on and off like a light switch, okay? So we have this opportunity to say, okay, we're in the waning now. That's the truth. It says it on my watch, we're in the waning. We're in the waning, but that doesn't mean the full energy is like, gone, okay? So we can always tap in. We can always zoom out. We can always take assessment. We can always take a different view, okay? It's like a girlfriend of mine used to say, you can start a diet in the middle of a bag of potato chips. You start when you start, okay? And there's no thing that's like, oh, well, you messed it up now. You can't go back. You can't fix it. I mean, that is baloney. Absolute, complete hogwash, okay? You can start a diet in the middle of a bag of potato chips. You can start from where you are, okay? And you start right now to say, let me zoom out and look what's going on with me and see what, where, do I really know where I'm going? I got to reassess this. Okay, where are we going? And if you're not sure, take that time. So in the next 12 days, when the new moon comes around, you are prepared and you know what it is that you want to ask for because you know where you're going. Okay? Doesn't matter where in the circle you start, just get in motion, right? Get involved. All right, let me read Chris's thing. So Chris had been in the hospital. We're so very glad that she is back home. So she says, my blessing this past week have been medical people. I met some amazing people who were so kind and caring. And on top of things, a woman who was so good at her job, she did a blood draw in Chris's hand while she was asleep. Now, I mean, that's pretty banging. If you can do a blood draw on somebody and not wake them up, that's pretty impressive. I don't know that I've ever had that experience, but I think that's amazing. So, and also very excited and happy that you have such good people around you that are taking good care of you now that you are back home. So, yay. Okay, so those were the things that I really wanted to, or I was really asked to connect in with. I want to say we had an amazing time yesterday. My girlfriend had a booth at the local animation Comic-Con, and we got to go and spend some time with her and see her. She is a Disney legend, and so we got to have lunch with Ariel the Mermaid. We got to meet the guy who plays Prince Eric in the original movie, which was a riot. He was super nice guy who works in like IT and strategy stuff now with a kind of a mohawk and a big bushy gray beard, and really not looking like Prince Eric, which is just a riot. We met all the Disney princesses. My nephew and my sons came with us, and my nephew got to meet a couple of his Broadway heroes. Was really excited to see them as voice actors, and I introduced them to my friend Brett, who is the voice of Mickey Mouse. And so we had just a really lovely day that continues to remind me when we have, because we in our weird life that we live, we know a lot of voice actors, and it always is such a fun thing for me to, I find it as this remarkable reminder that things are not always what they seem. Okay, we never know what's really going on behind the scenes in someone else's life. Right? And sometimes people are saying the things that they're supposed to be saying, even if that isn't what is true for them in that moment. Okay? And therefore, it's up to us to discern what is most important and meaningful to us. And so, in that particular instance, it was so lovely to meet these human beings and to say how we were very appreciative of their work. But for my friend, I am always so happy to know how she is doing and how her family is doing, just as she always asks me how I am doing and how my family is doing. It isn't that front part that is put out. So these things remind us also that there's so much anime and animation and super fun and cute stuff out there. If anybody is a fan of The Emperor's New Groove, my son got a coaster that says this. I'm still laughing. He got a coaster that says, "This is Cusco's coaster, a coaster for Cusco." Now, if you know the movie, you know that that's Patrick Warburton and hilarious. So if you don't know the movie, I highly recommend David Spade and Patrick Warburton and legend, absolute legend. Catwoman, who plays Yzma? Name is just completely gone out of my head, but I mean, absolute legend. Broadway stage, screen, amazing. Anyway, so much fun. But animation reminds me, and voiceover work reminds us that things are not always behind the scenes. Again, peeking behind that curtain is what we see in the front is not always the truth of a situation. And so we find the truth of a situation by zooming out. Okay? All right, let's see what's going on this week. So we've got Kyle Gray's Archangel. That is going to bug me. Who played Yzma? Chris Judd. Who played Yzma? In, oh, man. Read right now. It's, that's going to bug me. All right, somebody's going to Google it and pop it in the comments for me. So, let's see which of our archangels is hanging out with us today. So, oh, that's gonna bug me. All right, we'll figure it out. This is Daniel. Daniel of, okay, Do you not just love it when the cards listen to our conversation and then show up exactly as they've asked me to communicate? This is Daniel, divine discernment. It says, trust in the messages within. They are divinely guided. I mean, you just cannot make this stuff up. Okay? Trust in the messages within. They are divinely guided. Divine discernment from Daniel. Okay? Really, really, I mean, you just can't make these things up. So it is in that zooming out, trusting what the universe is trying to send your way, trusting that you are being led, trusting that you have some, ownership of the things that are going on with you and around you, and knowing that all the things are working together for your best good. So as I was saying, my friend who's still looking for a job was this job that was just not what it all appeared to be at all. But had they stayed in that job, had it been all sunshine and wonder, no, this is like very old, like Sid Charisse, Rita Moreno. All right, hang on. Who played Yzma in Emperor's New Groove? Eartha Kitt. There we go. Okay, so that was going to bug all of us. Eartha Kitt. There you go. Eartha Kitt. See, in the time it took me to look it up, you all looked it up faster. All right, Eartha Kitt. I mean, just like a legend. Okay, so not Zoe Kravitz. I mean, she would be fabulous actually if they did a new one. Okay. Anyway, Eartha Kitt. What a sidebar. Okay, so with the divine discernment, it is so much about being open to what the universe is trying to bring to us, what the universe is trying to show to us, and choosing, knowing that we have free will and that we have power, more power than we think that we do, that we have the ability to say, I trust the universe, and I also can discern what is coming from higher guidance and what is coming from ego or outside influence, okay? So when your mother or your best friend or whoever says to you, you really oughta, shoulda, da-da-da-da-da, to be able to say, thank you. I heard what you said. I will consider that. And then if it's right for you, you can absorb it. And if it's not right for you, you let it go by. Okay? It's like when they have the power of, I'm going to send whatever, like the Star Wars guys, they can send a lightning bolt and the other guy can stop it, or Harry Potter people do that too, and they can stop it, right? And it's this floating in midair. And you say, okay, I'm going to look at that. I'm going to think about that. Do I want to receive that lightning bolt of inspiration or not? No, I'm going to let it go by. And in slow-mo, Matrix style, right? And they let it go by. Okay, so these are our choices, but that's divine discernment. We say, okay, I hear that. I receive that. I'm going to consider it. And then I'm going to decide for myself how it feels, how it resonates, and whether I want to act on it or not. Okay? So our Malachim cards, our angel cards that have these other ideas for us before we get into our three cards, is going to be motion and surprise. So motion, to Noah, maybe, and ta. I don't know. Okay, so motion, sometimes Hebrew without vowels is hard. So motion and surprise, okay? And so I love this because it really is really what we were talking about before about it doesn't matter where in the circle of the cycle of the moon that you get involved, it is about getting involved. So if you are in motion, you give the universe the opportunity to surprise you with blessings. So yesterday, we went to this animation thing. I had no reason whatsoever to think that this Broadway legend, who my nephew and I are big fans of, would be at this thing. And my nephew turned around and said, thank you. And my nephew turned around and goes, oh my God, that guy's here. He's got a booth. And I said, well, let's go talk to him. But he wasn't at the booth. And so the boys went off to go and look at all the, anime things. And I was standing around waiting for Jody. And I turned around and there was a guy. He was walking and there was nobody around him. And he was just standing. And I said, hey, I'm Sherry. and we talked, we had a lovely conversation. Because we were in motion, we created the opportunity for the universe to surprise us. So it doesn't matter where in the moon cycle that you get on to just get in the game, right? To be doing something. And people talk oh, I don't want to make a mistake, I don't want to make a wrong turn. No such thing. No such thing. You know why there's no such thing as a wrong turn? I don't care what road you're on. I don't care whatever. Okay, you might make a wrong turn, like if you're walking and you go down a dark alley. That's not using discernment. Okay, if you are in the, inner city and you are wearing all kinds of gold chains and, got your big purse and you walk down a dark alley, that's just dumb. And no offense, I don't mean any offense, but I see these people on the Nextdoor apps. Y'all have Nextdoor app where you are, where people can say about what's going on in their neighborhood or what's going on in their town. And so people will be like, oh my God, my backpack got stolen out of my car and I left it right on the front seat and it had my laptop and my wallet. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Culpability of we own some of the things that happen to us. If you are going to leave your backpack on the front seat of your car overnight with your laptop in it and your wallet, well, let's not be surprised when somebody decides to help themselves. I don't care how safe your neighborhood is. That's just not intelligent. So, we have these things where we have to take responsibility. We get to take responsibility for our actions and the consequences thereof. So if we put ourselves in motion, things are going to happen. Could be good, could be less good. No. Maybe that person needed a brand new laptop. Don't know. So we give the universe the opportunity to surprise us when we are in motion, when we put ourselves outside our house into a place where there's other human beings, where we are taking the opportunity to say, they really want to go to the Comic-Con. I could care less. But my girlfriend invited us. She gave us free tickets. It's an opportunity to see her, which is hard because she's super busy. And we had a marvelous fun time. And I got to spend the day with my two boys, my nephew, and one of their friends. We had the most fun day. So we give the universe the opportunity to bless us and surprise us and show us and teach us and lift us and guide us when we are in motion. So it doesn't matter if you missed the, piece of like, the full moon I missed releasing or whatever. Just get in the circle so that you are part of it. So we do have a jumper card, and we'll do the 3 cards for the general reading for everyone. Hey, Laura Lou. And we'll get to the individual cards after that. So this card is the protection card. So this is very interesting. It says, call back your power, cut the cords, soul retrieval. Now, the thing is, this card jumped right out of the deck as I was shuffling, but it was upside down. Okay. So this is also, when it's upside down, it's telling us for us to trust the universe. Okay. So the protection card in the protection position, upside down, is saying, listen, call back your power. But when it's upside down, it's saying, hey, listen, it's okay to give some of that power to the universe. It's okay to trust in the universe and know that it's guiding you in the right direction, okay? So we don't have to be in control of every little thing with an iron fist, okay? So when this card is upside down, it reminds us it is okay to let go with the flow, allow things to percolate and allow things to happen. And that is really a big part of what's going on in this moon cycle right now, okay? So the next card is take a break. Well, now we've been talking about that, zooming out, taking a break, taking our foot off the gas, right? Pump the brakes a little bit. We've been talking about that for a couple of weeks now with this moon cycle. And so this is take a break. A life's work is not a season. Get off the treadmill. And so this is really asking us again for that divine discernment about where are we going? What is it that we really want to create? Well, we find that when we pump the brakes, we take a little zoom out, we use that divine discernment, and we say, okay, listen, let me just kind of see what's going on here. Okay, so this is saying, listen, you don't have to run a rat race and like do everything for everybody. This is asking you to get a little bit quiet, just like the protection card. Pump the brakes, let go of control a little bit. This card is asking you to take a little breath and say, okay, listen, what is it I'm really called to do? Like, what is the most important thing in my heart right now? What is it I would like to bring out in the world? If I could breathe into creation, anything, what is that going to be? Because this is saying, take a break, take a breath. We don't have to continue to work for the man or whatever it is. And I'm not saying quit your jobs, okay? But I am saying it is this opportunity of where the planets are right now to create clarity within ourselves of what do we want that long-term plan to be of how do I want to make my mark in the world. And we talked about this before. One of the cards talked about the this is, a marathon, not a sprint, right? And that this is really about creating the life that we want, not just the job or the occupation. Beyond a 9 to 5, what else is important and meaningful to you in your life that you can use to create the life that you want? Okay, so again, they're talking about pumping the brakes and taking that zoom out. Okay, so then what else do we need to know to help us to go forward in this? And this is Star Mother. Okay, this is Star Mother. It says, how can you mother yourself? Which means self-care. This means listening to yourself. It also means respecting yourself. So which means when we say, well, I would really love to do this, we don't immediately let the left brain, ego side, be like, oh, well, you can't do that. I don't know what the heck you were thinking. Okay, we trust in how can we take good care of ourselves. Self-care is not just drink enough water, get enough rest, and get some exercise. That is important. Physical self-care is really important. But the other part of self-care is the self-care of the spirit, the self-care of the heart. If you have a job that you don't like, or you're in a relationship that is just sucking the life out of you, or whatever those situations are, to be able to say, okay, listen, let me just pump a brake here. Let me just take a breath. Let me get some silence and some clarity about what it is that I want for myself, that I want for me, that's going to make my heart happy, my soul happy. What does that look like? And it is okay to not know that answer is, I want to be a doctor. Okay, that's not what we're talking about. It is so okay to start with a place that says, I would like to have more of peace, being of service, connection with other people, less connection with other people, whatever the qualities of the stuff that you want to create in your life, that's the important part, okay? It's not the, oh, I want to, be this specific career. It's about the qualities. I want my life to have these qualities. I want my life to have flexibility so I can be there for my parents as they continue to get older. I want my life to have flexibility so I can be there for my children as they continue to get older. I want my life to have enough financial stability that I can do the things that I want. I want my life to have emotional outreach. I want my life to have meaningful relationships. As you continue to identify the things that you want, the universe is going, okay, this piece goes here and this piece goes there, and we're going to move that around. And then what happens is we get this divine inspiration that says, you know what? I think I'm going to go take that Reiki class. Or I think I'm going to go sign up at the gym to, learn Zumba or whatever it is, right? Because one of the things that happened yesterday is I was walking around the animation thing, and my kids were walking around, and I was just kind of wandering around. And I was wearing a t-shirt that said Stronger Than the Storm. And I bought the t-shirt after the Los Angeles fires. But we've had so many hurricanes here in Florida, and we've had so many other things. We've all had so many other things. And a woman behind one of the booths that I was looking at, that I thought their merchandise was really wonderful, and I was looking, and she looked at me, she said, Stronger than what storm? What storm? And I looked right at her without missing a beat. I said, you choose. You choose. What is the storm? Okay. And what happens is, and so we got into this really marvelous conversation, and now I have a new friend, okay? Because we really connected, and she was not somebody I knew, whatever. We just had this divine connection because those are the things that happen. And so I don't know where we may connect again yet, but I imagine that we will, because we had many things in common, and what a wonderful conversation that we had. But those are little divine connections when we let go of the reins and we allow spirit to guide us. Because this is a huge convention center thing. I could have walked down any alleyway to anywhere, and I happened to walk down that one that had something that was actually interested to me, because to be honest, most of the other swords and masks and anime thing way over my head, okay? But here was this one booth with candles that actually seemed interesting to me, and here was this person that we actually got into this amazing conversation. So, allow the universe to mother you, to guide you, to lead you, to pamper you. Okay, we create space for that when we can do that zoom out, pump the brakes. But when we start to list those qualities of what it is we would like to have or do or be or receive, qualities, items, factors, things, the pieces of the puzzle can get put together where the universe can now step in and go, hey, look over there. We've got something to show you over there. Because now we're able to receive. We've put ourselves in the position to ask the universe for help by making our list, and we've opened our hearts to be able to receive. So when the universe is going, hey, we're trying to get your attention over here, we literally go, oh, yes, what are you trying to show me? And our hearts are open to receive. Chris says she's been working on reparenting herself for several years. It is incredibly powerful. We take that control. And I tell my mom, so for years I would just do this to my mom, because my mom, I love my mom, but she still sometimes thinks we're all four. And so I would do this to my mom, and I say, I love you. And she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm just reminding you that I'm 40, not 4. Now I'm in my 50s, I do this. But she's learned that when I do this, a little smile, I love you. She's like, oh, okay, I'm treating you like you're 5. I'm like, I love you. Okay, so those are those places where we take back our power. I don't have to make a row with my mom just to be able to be like, I love you. And I'm not saying stop. That's not this. It's fine. I'm 50. I'm in my 50s, mid 50s. Okay, almost to cross over to the other second half of the 50s. I'm like, okay, and it's not as like, stop. Okay, it's more humorous, and she recognizes that, and so we take back that power in fun ways. So it doesn't have to be ways that we take back power, right? We can take back our power in a lot of ways. All right, so she also says she was literally thinking about finding Zumba classes on YouTube when she's breathing again this morning. Well, you and I are divinely connected. We know this. I will tell you, if you're not familiar with it, there is a marvelous free app, Android. I don't know about iPhone. I'm sure it's iPhone. I can't imagine it's not. A free app called Fit On, Fiton. There's a paid version, of course, but they literally have everything from aerobics to Zumba, and you can just pull it up on your phone. And it is free, and you can just put in, I am looking for a meditation. I want it to be 10 minutes, and, I want it musical or talking. Go. Okay, so you can put in all kinds of things. They have so many amazing things in there. There's so much stuff that you can just pull it up. So if you don't, sometimes I find finding what I'm looking for on YouTube can be overwhelming. So, okay, let's do some card readings for you. I'm going to get a drink of water. You know the deal. Go ahead and put in the chat a card, please, so that I have your permission to enter your energy space. Okie dokie. All right, we've got Sharon first, quick on the draw, and then Ellen. All right, so Sharon, this is deep replenishment, retreat, rest, be held. So this is going to continue to go into that same vein of having that. Okay, so Sharon, of all the things that are going on with you, just make sure that you're practicing self-care and that you're keeping that at a higher part of the list, right? We want to have your self-care to be, sometimes it can't be first. I get it, especially for women, I get it. Sometimes we can't be first, but we should not be last. Okay, so Sharon, this is just reminding you that it's really important that you're taking good care of yourself right now as well. Okay. Okay. I do want to say something else about this, Sharon. Because it's not just physical. Okay, as soon as I put the card down, they're like, wait, you're not done. It wasn't just physical. Okay, so Sharon, the part of this deep replenishment is something that is filling up your heart, filling up your soul. So it feels like they're wanting to bring in something like a book, or it could be an audiobook, but it's something that is, what they're showing me is like a book of readings or a book of poems, something that's like daily inspiration. Okay, I personally like Sonia Choquette, who's amazing. She has a book of daily blessings, and I will just open up that book, not every day, but I open up the book to just a page, and I'm like, it's like, 3 or 4, 6 lines, and it's just something that keeps my head in the right place. So, so they're talking, Sharon, that it's not just about rest and water and things. There's something else that wants to fill your heart and keep your heart in the right place. Okay, so we're gonna have that for Sharon. All right, so Ellen. Okay, Ellen, Ellen, Ellen. This is the mirror card. So this is who or what is triggering you. So Ellen, this is that person or that situation that is driving you nuts, that is really just annoying the snookies out of you. So this reminder that these things are there um, uh, to, to share what the universe is trying to get you to see, right? So this is really where they're trying to say to you, Ellen, that stuff that is really pushing your buttons, take that pause, take that zoom out, and be able to say, okay, listen, I know this person is in my life for a reason. They're driving me crazy right now, but if I can meet them with some compassion and love, there may be something else that's going on in there. I met a lovely, lovely woman when I was in England last year, and the first meeting, like when I first started talking with her, it felt like everything around, like everything she said was very negative. But the more I got to know her, the more I realized that she had come from a really difficult past. And the more I was able to put love into the situation, and several of us had the same observation, and the more we were able to put love in the situation, she just really transformed in front of our eyes. And so we were being the mirror to her, and she was able to really pick up on that. So Ellen, the question is, what are you mirroring back to someone else, or what is it that is being mirrored to you they're asking you to take notice of? Okay, so this really feels like it's incoming of something that's trying to be shown to you for your own expansion and discernment. Okay, so those things that are annoying you, for all of us, it's very easy for us to be like, yeah, I don't even want to know about that, right? It's just so annoying. And sometimes those things are really there to help us see from a different perspective. Okay. All right. So, Sharon, I know when that patient is post-op. So that I think that's why they stopped me, and I get it. And I think that's why they stopped me, and they said, okay, hey, we understand that it's not necessarily like hydration and sleep, right? There's something more there. And it may very well be that book, that kind of a book of blessings or something like that, that communication is not just for you, it is for more than you. Okay, it's something for you to share. Okay, so because they are showing me like poems or readings or some kind of input of information, Sharon, that is about lifting you, shifting you, okay, keeping the heart in the right place. And it may very well be that you are meant to be the conduit for, and I think it's your daughter that's post-op. I'm feel like I'm, and I apologize if I'm overstepping, but I feel like that you are being asked to be that communicator for more than just yourself. Okay. Okay. All right. So we have Stephen. Okay, and Chris. Okay. Steven, get grounded. Empaths, highly sensitives, reconnect with nature. Okay. Stephen, take a walk. Take a walk. With all my love. Okay. This is this reminder to get yourself back connected with something bigger than yourself. Okay. That sometimes we can get our head so, I want to be so connected with spirit that I forget to get grounded and connected with Mother Earth as well. Okay, we can get so concerned about being connected with spirit and our higher mind and our higher guidance, and we can be so concerned about all those things that we're not taking the time to get connected with boots on the ground and to get reconnected with the normal, everyday pieces. Okay, and so Stephen, they're reminding you that it's not about coming back to reality, anything like that, but it is about refilling your cup in a different way. So often when we have people who are spiritually connected, our go-to in filling our cup is up here. And it is a really important reminder that we also fill our cup by connecting with Mother Earth, with Gaia, with nature energy, wisdom of the trees, that kind of thing. So gardening is one of the things that does that for me. I get connected with the trees and the earth and my hands in the dirt and that kind of thing. And so this is just a reminder that we can connect to the spirit and higher guidance in more than one way, okay? So especially if you're ever feeling like, for all of us, if you're ever feeling like we can't go, like I'm trying to connect in this direction and it's not working, know that there's more than one way to connect to spirit. Know that there's more than one way to connect to higher guidance. Okay, we're not ever stuck in one place. Okay, Sharon says, it's the golden doodle who ate something that caused the blockage. Well, our pets are our children, aren't they? I mean, good gracious. But I hope that your baby is going to be okay, and we'll definitely send some really, healing vibes. We love golden doodles. One of our dear friends, Isira, has Pluto, who we used to babysit for. Pluto is a gray golden doodle, and we loved having Pluto here, so we like our golden doodles, so even though we don't have those. So Steven says, makes perfect sense, bogged down in home repairs. The path we need to get back on, go for walks. Excellent, good plan, good plan. All right, good plan. All right, good plan, everybody. All right, we've got Chris Judd. Home, healthy, getting healthy, Chris Judd. We've got upside down. We've got break the chain. This is the ancestral patterns, healing, rewriting the future. Now I love this because this is upside down. Now I love this because of some of the things that you and I have been talking about of recent, of breaking past patterns and rewriting the history and creating new stories. And so I love this. Now this is upside down that says, hey, listen, there's still more work to be done here, but I love that this card comes up for you because it very much is a confirmation of you being on the right track for some of those things that we had talked about. But this is a reminder that only you have that power to turn this right side up again. Only you have that power. Then as much as you are allowing yourself to heal, and there is an aspect of reshuffling that's going on in your healing right now, your physical healing. And I know we had talked about that before, that there is a piece of that reshuffling that's going on. So this card coming in upside down, breaking the chain, it's reminding you that you are the one who can break the chain, who can turn this right side up to say, okay, I'm internalizing my healing, both mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, that you have control, and this is reminding you that you have so much more power than you give yourself credit for. This is, you can turn this, you can break this chain, that you are the one that's in control. And so this is a real power card. Even though it's upside down, it's still a real power card that says you are the one. Okay, so I love that for you, for sure. All right, so we have Belinda. Absolutely, Belinda. All right, we have Belinda. So Belinda, this card is also upside down. This is trust the niggle. This is what's niggling, what is that little antsy feeling that's going on for you. But this is also upside down. This is trust that niggle, right? Trust that little thing that is like been nerdling you at the back of your mind. This is, boy, I really would like to fill in your blank, okay? And it does feel like there's something, for some reason, as I started to say those words, and what's, in the back of your mind, the Grand Canyon came into my mind. So I'm not really sure if there's a connection there to Arizona or something like that, but there's something about trusting and allowing, Belinda. There's something very important about allowing, okay? So sometimes we have to really turn off that left brain. Mary Kay used to always say, when a negative thought comes in your brain, say cancel, cancel, cancel. And I always thought, well, I'm, with all my love and respect to the lady herself, I need more strong words. And so in my head, I'm going, shut up. Okay, and so that left brain, sometimes, Belinda, we've got to just say to that left brain, hush, you, be quiet, right? I'm talking to the right brain now. I'm talking to my heart. I'm talking to my ajna. I'm talking to my higher mind. Okay, you be quiet, because that left brain is going to be like, you can't do that, right? And so, Belinda, this card is being upside down, is saying to you, listen, it's really important for you to tell that left brain to hush up right now, and so that you're trusting in what you're receiving in your heart and your higher mind, and you're allowing yourself the space to consider. Right, we talked about before that thing's coming at you. Take a look at it, consider whether you're going to receive it or you're going to let it go past you. Because what they're talking about is that this is really this time for you to turn the left brain down, that volume, so that you can really hear more clearly from the right brain. Okay? All right. Australia. Oh my gracious. Australia. God bless you for coming to visit with us from Australia. It just, it makes my heart so happy. Okay, so is there something that is there a fire in Australia right now? Is there like some big fire that's in the news in Australia? And I'm not suggesting you become a firefighter or anything like that, but it's something, looking at buying a car after a car accident. Okay, so that's where that is turning that left brain off, because that left brain is still hearing that in your, okay, I remember now. Okay, so this is where they're talking about having, just to quiet the ego, fear-based mind, and allowing the higher mind to come in. Okay, I got you. So Australia and Ireland, oh my goodness, you all like make my heart, I mean, just, I'm so incredibly honored. I don't know how y'all found me from Australia and Ireland, but God love you. So, all right, we've got Kimmy and Laura Lou. All right, we've got Kimmy and Laura Lou. Absolutely. The only reason I asked Belinda about the fire was because I know there's a big fire in the Grand Canyon area. That's why, and so I was wondering if there was some kind of connection there. So, okay. Where am I? 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 Kimmy Smith. There we are. Kimmy Smith. Okay. So Kimmy Smith also upside down. This is dancing with life. Do something to change your energy. And so Kimmy Smith, this is the card that's right side up, but this card comes in upside down. So this is saying, listen, relax, relax. Okay, allow things to come to you. Relax. Know that what is for you, what the universe has designed for you, is coming for you, coming to you. Okay, it's not gonna, you're not gonna miss it. Okay, and so this is reminding you that it is okay to just let go of control and just relax and allow things to continue to develop. Okay, so Kimmy, this is just a card that says, hey, you know what? Take a break. Get some lemonade. Relax. Okay, everything is okay. Allow things to play out as they need to, and just trust that they're gonna land in a way that benefits you. Okay, it's hard. It's hard. We want to control everything. We want to know everything. It's very hard. Okay, so Kimmy, they're just saying, listen, you just trust us. Okay, just relax. Just dance. Just dance. Okay, let things play out. Okay, you are so welcome, Belinda Jones. All right. Okay, Laura Lou, thank you for your patience, Laura Lou. So this card, Laura Lou, says yes. This card says yes, and you'll see this pyramid, and it's going right up to higher guidance, right up to connection with source, okay? So Laura Lou, this is saying, listen, trust us. We've got this higher guidance. It's coming right down into your brain, coming right down into your heart. We have got you, okay? We've got you. We're holding you. We're guiding you. So Laura Lou, this is a yes card, and it was right side up, okay? So this is a yes card. This is, listen, the direction that you're going in, keep going, okay? Allow things to continue. This is the direction you're going in. They are telling you yes, 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 yes. This is the right time. This is absolutely the right time. Go forward in all confidence, okay? I love giving those messages. I love giving those messages. All right, let's see where we are. Catherine. Okay. You are very welcome. Very welcome. All right, Catherine from Ireland. All right, Catherine from Ireland. All right, Catherine. This is priestess, and this comes in upside down also. This is, how are you being called to step up and lead? And so, Catherine, this comes in as upside down. And so it reminds us that you are not responsible for, and this is a Pure KO vote quote, we are not responsible for completing the task, but nor are we free to ignore it. Okay? So, Catherine, this is, you don't have to be the leader of Ireland. But you do need to be the leader of you, and you set the example for others to follow, okay? And so this is saying it's important that you are watching what is going on around you so that you are able to say, how are other people perceiving? Now, this is not talking about putting on a mask or acting the way others think you should, okay? This is about being your most authentic self because other people are watching and are looking to get permission from you for their own lives, okay? This is not about being something you're not. This is about being your most authentic self. Turning this card, excuse me, right side up. This is, listen, you are the priestess. You are the priestess of Katherine Johnston. You are the priestess of your own life. You have the power. You have the control. And it is important that you are living your life in the most authentic way, the way that is in alignment for yourself, because others are watching so that they can give permission for themselves to live authentically as well, to take off their masks. It is not about you putting one on. It is about you living authentically so that you empower others to follow. Okay? So you have, and we start by leading. We lead ourselves. We are examples for our family and our children. We model how we want other people to treat us, how we expect other people can and will treat us by how we are acting and how we are treating ourselves and how we show up. Okay? When I was starting my Mary Kay business and people say, well, what are you doing? I'm like, well, I'm going to sell Mary Kay, and I think it'll be good. And people would go, okay, well, good luck with that. And then when I became more confident in my business, and I mean, I built a big business, okay, pink Cadillacs and everything. And people would say, well, what do you do? And I said, well, I teach skincare and makeup and leadership for women for, a huge, Fortune 500 company that's internationally recognized as one of the top skincare and color cosmetic brands in the world. Now, which one of those people do you want to do business with? Okay? So, how we show up and how we present and represent shows other people how we expect them to treat us. Does it always work? No. Does it work a lot? Yeah. Okay, so Catherine, there, how you are showing up is an important example for others that are going to follow you. Okay? All right. So, can I please repeat the last? You are welcome, Laura Lou Kim Smith. You are also welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Catherine, welcome. 100%. You are welcome. Can I repeat the last quote and who said it? The Pirkei Avot. Pirkei Avot is a Jewish text, old ancient Jewish teachings, Hebrew teachings, and it says, "You are not obligated to complete the task, nor are you free to ignore it." I think that's the quote you're asking for. Okay. It says that it's not all on us. Okay. It says that it's not all on us. That we don't have to save the world. We have to do our part. That's what it means. Okay. It means I'm going to pick up the litter. I'm going to recycle where I can. I'm going to be kind to people. I'm going to, make sure I'm protecting the butterflies and the wasps and the bees as much as I am able to in my little corner of the world. It means I'm going to do the things that I can do to make my little corner of the world better for myself and anyone who's proximate or passes through it. Okay? I had a girlfriend who called me yesterday. She said, "I need some good vibes, so I'm calling you." That makes my heart so happy. That makes my heart so happy that somebody believes enough in my good vibes that when they feel like they need little pick me up, that I'm the one they want to call. So let me put it in the comment, Chris. Pure K, and there might not be Pure K. There might not be an thing. You are not obligated to complete the task, nor are you free to ignore it. There you go. Okay. Here we go. All right, let's pick one more card to finish it up. This is upside down. This is Imrama card. It says, "What are you being called to journey to?" It says, hey, pay attention. That we're not paying attention to our higher purposes, right? It says we got to turn this upside down, right side back up. Imrama, where is the journey? Where is the bigger picture? Okay, the bigger picture is not, the lower parts of Maslow's hierarchy for basic needs, right? This is I have a home, I have a family, I have people who care about me, I have food in my refrigerator. These are the basic needs. I have money in my bank account, enough at least. So these are the basic needs. And as we go up into the higher, it says, what is my higher purpose to contribute to the earth, to humanity? What is my higher purpose, right? Zooming out. What is my higher purpose here? And so this says, what are we being called to journey to? So we are not required to, complete the task, but we are not free to ignore it. We do have an obligation as humans who have chosen to incarnate at this time. We have an obligation to show up as good humans to help boost and raise the vibration of the earth. If you are here, you are part of that group of people who have chosen to incarnate at this time to bring a higher vibration and a vibration of love and acceptance and joy and connection to the earth. So it's important that we don't get myopic and say, I am only focused on this. Now, we talk about staying in your lane, right? But this is different. This is saying, don't get so myopic that you are micro-focusing on, the grounded tasks or the things like that, to be able to say, what is the bigger picture of how I can contribute to the world around me, okay? Because we're all here to be part of the bigger fabric, okay? None of us incarnated at this time on the planet to be hermits. Okay, we've all incarnated to be part of the bigger task. Hello, Amy Barrington. Mwah. Kisses for you. All right. That's it for today. Thank you for joining. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for showing up from so many places around the globe. This makes my heart so incredibly happy. I thank you so much for being part of our Monday group. Please join me again next Monday. And if you missed the videos, because I know Facebook has taken them down kind of quick, remember they're always going to be on YouTube. Be sure that you check the text for the broadcast today, because there is a little secret special offer in there if you catch it, to be able to book your fall session and get a little bit of discount. So definitely check that out. I look forward to working with you all. Have a fantastic day. Know how very much you are loved. And I look forward to seeing you next week.